Good evening, Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to another edition of the MMB Live Show. I'm your host, Angela Green, and I know we were not here last month due to the ice storm, but we are back here first Monday in March, and we have an excellent show for you. So I know every broadcast, we always show the Kweli TV commercial. Well, we are so happy tonight. We have Deshauna Spencer with the CEO and founder of Kweli TV. She's with us tonight to share with us all the details of her current equity crowdfunding campaign that she has going on right now. Now, since we did miss February, we have a second guest. Normally we don't have but one, but we do have two. So tonight we want to welcome Princeton James with Princeton James Productions. He's going to be with us tonight. He's going to be telling us all about what they have going on here in Memphis with Princeton James Productions, the cooler for 2022. So, and also always we have your entertainment news, film and music. So my co-host Christy Taylor is with us as well. So go ahead, hit that like button, share this stream, let everybody know that the MMB Live Show is about to begin right now. Hello.
Happy New Year. I gotta feel like it's like
wait a minute.
Take a month off, and I feel like it's a brand new year.
I know. Happy New Year to you as well. How you doing?
I'm good. And you know something? The ice storm did not impact me as much. I mean, I was over here just chilling out. But as soon as I hit, those streets and I saw the trees and everything, and then of course you told me how the internet, messed up really bad for you, but you know something, I'm glad we're back. We're back.
I am
everybody, yay!
Well, unfortunately, I'm still feeling the impacts of my internet at the house is still out. That's why I'm here at the office tonight. Okay. But nothing was going to stop me from getting back on the horse with the MMB Live Show. So I'm definitely happy to be here and very excited about the people that we have.
I know. First of all, I'm super geeked. Deshauna Spencer, who we had during the pandemic, I had a chance to interview her. And when I found out that she was from the 901, from the M-Town, and that we have been loving Kweli TV, not knowing that a Memphis native creator, that I'm always excited when she graces us with her presence. And then to be hanging out with Princeton James. Come on, y'all. We're going to have an amazing.
You can't ask for more. You can't ask for more.
Absolutely. Not today in the month of March. And of course, we're going to celebrate Deshauna in a special way because this is Women's History Month and she is making history. And speaking of another woman, Sandra Hill Wilson. Hello. Okay, I'm really geeked tonight. One reason is because the industry, Hollywood, is clowning. When I tell you Hollywood is clowning.
So what do you have for us tonight?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to talk about Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan first? Do I want to talk about Shonda Rhimes and her Netflix relationship? Or do I want to talk about, something? I'm going to start off with the Batman.
Oh, yes. Have you seen it? Have you gone?
No, I have not seen it. And one of my friends who is a diehard, because, I am all about the comic universe. I'm more Marvel, but I will do Batman. Mm-hmm. But when I found out that it's like almost a 3-hour movie, first of all, that's Titanic for you. But what I'm really talking about is the bag is out. They said the bat's out the bag because on March 1st, check this out. This is more industry news. This is really beyond the film. AMC Theaters chief Adam Aron has revealed to investors that they are going to increase the surcharge. Yes. AMC is going to increase their surcharge from $1 to $150, and it's going to remain in place for 8 days. Now, this is the fact that now, movie theaters like Cinemark, Regal Cinemas, they were hard hit during the pandemic and have finally been getting people to come back. Spider-Man, No Way Home, really, had people coming back to the theater. So you're having to do blockbusters to get people back. But they said over this first weekend, Batman flew to an impressive 134 million, the second best opening of the pandemic.
I read that. So you said they're going to add a surcharge of $1.50 on top of the ticket just for 8 days, the first 8 days.
That is correct. Cinemark is also going to be doing the same in North America, ranging a little over $1, because I think typically they're 50 cents. But yeah, so movie theaters are like, hey, you're coming back, but get ready for the hip.
We're about to collect.
We're about to collect. Yeah, so we got to, now, of course, Shonda Rhimes, of course, we know when she left ABC, she went to Netflix. Major money, major. And Shondaland has been showing out, of course, Bridgerton. And one that I've been checking out is Inventing Anna. And now word is that Shondaland has another scripted original series at the streaming giant. And it is with her Shondaland partner, Betsy Beers. And it's called The Residents. It's a mystery drama that they have ordered straight to series. And it's actually based on a book. Kate Anderson Brower's book, The Residents Inside the Private World of the White House. So pretty much it's not going to be scandal, but it is going to be scandalous. It's a murder mystery story.
Okay.
So I'm super excited to see that Shondaland. I'm all things Shondaland. I mean,
they say when that's supposed to hit the streaming service.
Let's see. Of course, she's still working that. They're saying that, it looks like July. Looks like it's going to be a summer release because, of course, they're probably working. And I hope that I'm not. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah. They haven't said the specific dates. I will double check on that. And if they didn't give a specific release date. Yeah, but they're like, it's coming.
But I think Bridgerton is supposed to come this month, right?
Yes, exactly. So probably, because have you been checking out Inventing Anna?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay.
I've been without internet for a month. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. Okay. Well, Bridgerton, of course, the sequel, part 2, without the favorite, Mr. Page, is coming back. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I think I'm going to watch it because I did kind of fall in love with him during that series. But of course, one of my favorite, The Queen. Yeah, I really loved her.
Now, I heard that they were going to do a prequel with the Queen, which if they do that, I think that would be very interesting.
I agree. Now, of course, I think I had to, the best for last. And of course, all of those other ones were amazing. But according to Deadline, a new chapter of one of my favorite sci-fi films is coming back. Warner Brothers. Let me see if I can breathe. Will Smith. I Am Legend.
Oh, yes.
And this is the thing.
Yeah.
Who's going to be doing it with Michael B. Jordan?
I read that, but I don't know. I mean, I watched the first movie and it seemed like that character, well, I'm not trying to spoil it, but I mean, people should have seen it by now. I mean, his character was killed off at the end. So I'm very, very excited to see, how they're going to, twist that story.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm thinking that since Will's character was killed off, and remember, they end with the whole, make the young lady who snuck through the back and all like that, and she made it to where there was real people. I'm thinking that he's going to probably be Michael B. Jordan because he likes those apocalyptic movies. He like a storyteller inside of me. Maybe he's going to be one of the leaders of that organization, of that, realm, and they're going to finally have to fight the zombies or whatever.
Perhaps.
But, because who's going to say everybody wants to be, the antidote has been found, but who really wants to be turned back into a regular human? I don't know. I'm just saying, I love I Am Legend. I don't know what the sequel's going to be about, but if Michael B. Jordan and Will Smith has anything to do with it, I think it's going to be cool. So that's my Hollywood news.
All right. Well, I guess I will give a little music news. We have some interesting things to come up. The first is Live Nation. I just recently read they have cut ties with Russia. And the Ukraine. So they basically have announced that they are ceasing all business activity in Russia. They're condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and they will not promote any shows in Russia. And of course, a lot of the concerts that were planned for Russia and the Ukraine have been canceled. So everyone is definitely taking their sides and, putting their line in the sand and saying, hey, that's not cool. We're not being a part of that. They also said that they're going to be scouring their vendor lists and making sure they're not doing any business with any vendors in Russia either. So they are They're being
That's like
hard
the
nosed.
billionaire. That's like the billionaire who just sold his hockey team because they were about
Oh,
to be.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
I hadn't heard
It's
that.
serious.
So
I mean,
yeah,
but
it's yeah.
at the same token, though, a lot of people are probably just going to vacate the whole region and
Hmm.
set up on a nice island somewhere and ride it out.
Right, absolutely. So that was that, and then it was another kind of interesting. And this is for our. This is almost like education time for our indie artists. I don't know if anyone heard about the feud that's going on between Morris Day and the estate
Woo,
of Prince. Have
baby,
you heard
yeah,
about that?
and Prince's estate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and so essentially the state, and once I kind of read the article, I really, legally I kind of understand where they're coming from, but as an artist, I understand where he's coming from. So he put out a tweet basically condemning the estate because they told him that legally he does not have the rights to use the name Morris Day and the time. But the state has kind of come back and said, oh, no, wait a minute. That's not 100% accurate. But what it is back when Morris signed a contract with Prince's company, basically acknowledging that the company owned the rights, sole rights and interest in the time. Okay, the name The Time. So essentially, Morris tried to register the trademark, and that's what's been going on. A lot of these legacy bands that are touring around, they're starting to now file their trademarks federally, their names of their band. So he must have attempted to file Morris Day and the Time federally with the U.S. Trademark Office, and the state said, we can't allow you to do that because legally the time is our trademark, but they're willing to license it to them. And so, and they need to work out the details. There needs to be some discussion. But, of course, Morris would say, hey, I've been using this name for 40 years. And Prince never had, when he was living, he never had a problem. But that's how it always is. I mean, hey, that's fine.
The estate is not Prince, yeah. And then, of course, they're looking at how can we squeeze every drop of blood, pennies, money out of this organization, out of this legacy.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
I mean, they're crossing the T's and dotting the I's is what they're doing.
I saw it on Facebook, and he basically was like, they said I can't tour. It's Morris Day and the Time, and then the next day, like early one morning, somebody said my mama gave me Morris Day. So of course now, as you're saying, because honestly,
this is just legalese.
At this point, because if they did that, I really do believe that it would be a big stink because nobody's beholden to legacy artists like some people would be. And, you want to see Morris Day perform.
Right. And he is Morris Day in the Time. Nobody begrudged that. We know what he has done to build up the value in that name. But it's legalese. Right. And I mean, he just needs to just settle down. And
he can
come to the table and negotiate.
Prince showed him what to do. Prince told him what to do. Put Morris Day in the symbol.
Oh,
Put Morris Day in a clock.
In a clock.
One of my first industry crushes was on Jerome. I don't know why. My brother used to say, yes. He said, why do you like him out of everybody? He doesn't sing or play. Well, he could, he did some things, but I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, he had the mirror. And I would just be so like, oh my God, he was suited and he just came out there just so suave with the mirror. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, So industry news.
That's the industry news for today. So I guess we will take a quick break. And when we come back, we will have Miss Deshauna Spencer with us. right, we're back. We're back. So, Christy, I'm gonna allow you to do the honors tonight.
Oh, I'm under pressure. Okay, well, first of all, Deshauna Spencer is a Memphis native who, through her amazing journey through marketing, through television, through film, through all the things that are creative, she saw the need to spotlight creatives of the African diaspora. And Quayle TV has been a mainstay in the industry in the same breath as you say Sundance or Netflix or any other esteemed streaming platforms. Quayle TV is right up there with them. And we're super excited that she has graced the stage with us again today. And she's going to be talking about how Quayle TV is expanding for the next generation. So let us welcome Memphis' own, living on the East Coast, doing big things globally, Deshauna Spencer, Quayle TV.
Welcome.
Hey, hey,
Did I do good? Did I do good? I
you
need
did
to count.
amazing. You did amazing. That was great. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Welcome.
wow.
Welcome. So, I wanted to, as soon as I received that email, this is back in January, is when you launched the equity crowdfunding. And as soon as I received that email, because I've been a subscriber long before we connected, and I knew then, I was like, I'm going to invest. Absolutely, I'm going to. But I knew I also needed to make sure that the Memphis community knew what was going on with you, with Quayle TV. That's just been one of the things ever since I learned that you were from Memphis, is making sure that they understood and knew who you were and that you were one of us. And so that's why I wanted you to come back, so that you can really just give us the details of what's going on, where you're headed, and to make sure that we get as many people on board as possible for what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me back to talk about my equity crowdfunding campaign. For a lot of people, when you talk about crowdfunding, people think of like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, right? Those are like traditional crowdfunding campaigns where you donate to an organization or donate to a cause and you get like a T-shirt or like a thank you. But what really makes this really unique is the fact that you actually get equity in a company. And so I decided to create this equity crowdfunding campaign. Number one, because as a Black-owned business, I really wanted to create a way in which our customers, our fans could actually own a piece of the company. You hear it time and time again where these big companies go public or other things happen, and the early investors kind of get a chance to make their money. And a lot of times, especially in our community, we don't get that type of access because we're not accredited investors. And so with equity crowdfunding, it allows anyone literally to invest in a company and reap the benefits. So I'm really excited about this. Through the equity crowdfunding campaign, right now we're at about over $100,000. We're trying to raise $1 million, so we have a little ways to go. But with that money, the goal is to expand. So we want to hire more people. I've never really been shy about the fact that I started Quayle initially with $20,000 in a dream, and having a skeleton staff and having very few resources, and we've been able to do so much. So hiring a team that can take marketing away from me and give it to someone else who's more well versed. I've been able to do okay with marketing on my own, but having someone who's actually a professional at it, be like super helpful. And then two, we've been really partnering with a lot of different organizations and apps, and we're trying to build. So for instance, we're currently trying to onboard on Amazon channels, and it's really tech heavy, and having another person on board who can really manage all those partnerships that we're forming will also, that's where some of the money will go. In addition, we also really want to make some tech upgrades. We're doing some tech upgrades now, but with this funding, we really want to do some really innovative things when it comes to where things are going now. I mean, there's metaverse and all these various things that, these buzzwords that people are talking about. We want to get in on that a little bit. And so we definitely want to expand our platform to make it more tech heavy. And we also want to make some really cool things on the platform that's around people being able to connect with each other, building more community on the platform, having people do like watch parties and things like that. And then finally, we really want to reinvest back into our filmmakers. right now we work with over 450 filmmakers across the globe, and we do want to use some of the funding to be able to have a fund for them and also being able to create original programming. We really want to start doing some original shows ourselves, and with this funding, we'll at least be able to kind of get the ball rolling on it. So really excited about it. It only takes $150, like literally, to invest in a company, and you will actually own a piece of a Black-owned company. And I think that's really amazing that we can say we subscribe to this and we actually own a piece of it. I think that's what's powerful. You think about collective economics and the fact that we can, as a community, own something together.
Wow, Deshauna, I'm super excited about that. And of course, for those who are on the more creative end or who may be interested in like, well, give me more information about Quayle TV, how long has it been around and the content that you focus on?
Definitely. So, Clay TV video streaming service, we curate independent Black films, documentaries, web shows, children's programming, animation from all over the world. So, we have content from here in North America, Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, Europe, Australia, all in one place, but all Black stories. We source most of our films from film festivals, and I would say we have all types of content. So, from documentaries to history to sci-fi, dramas, everything, even children's programming on the platform. But I will say, like, the most popular content on Play TV are documentaries, history, sci-fi, and children's programming. That's pretty much where people tend to watch. We have a huge selection of documentaries on Play TV, but we also have a really robust comedy section as well. So we're looking for all types of content on the platform. But I do want to also mention that Quayle means truth. And so for us, we really want to make sure we're showing authentic Black stories, and we're trying to minimize stereotypes and some of the things we sometimes see in mainstream media. That's a really big part of our mission.
Wow. So when it comes to the investment opportunity, how have you been able to get it to the African diaspora? Is it social media campaigns, or is it what's your strategy right now for recruitment?
So right now for our equity crowdfunding campaign, social media, word of mouth. I think a lot of times, we sometimes don't want to ask people for things, right? And so even just sending out emails to friends or connections in my network saying, hey, I know I haven't heard from you in a while because of the pandemic. Because I feel like with the pandemic,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of us have been kind of like disconnected from people in a way, and so reaching out to people who haven't probably talked to, haven't seen. I'm up for the north now. I'm in the DC area, so I know down south, for some places it's been like, nothing has like what pandemic. You go to Florida, like pandemic what? Here it's a little bit different. People, it's more cautious. So a lot of networking events, all those things, pretty much went screeching halt. And so I haven't really been able to connect with a lot of people that I normally would have. And so just reaching out to people who I haven't spoken to in a while, say, hey, we're still here. We're still, making really great work. And now we have this equity crowdfunding campaign. So really just hitting people up in different ways. I've done a few pitches with Black investment groups, and so it's been really interesting. And also send out emails. So we send emails like every other week to our fan base about what's happening with the raise, and it works every single time. Like we get a couple $1,000s every time I send an email, and so I never know what I'm going to write about. Like by trade, I'm a writer and like telling stories, but when it comes to like equity crowdfunding, like what can I write about this time? Always trying to figure something new or fresh to write about. Like the last one I wrote about, like if we had $1 million, I was watching like a Publishers Clearinghouse commercial, and it reminded me as a kid growing up in Memphis, those Publisher Clearinghouse commercials would come all the time, and my parents were always like, not joke, but like, at least the commercial, if we had $1 million, like daydream about what they would do, and we'll do this and we'll go there. And it made me think back, like, okay, yeah, when I was a kid, my parents would daydream about having $1 million. Well, I'm trying to raise $1 million for my company, and what would I do with the money? Like, what type of work would I do? And so I kind of drafted that into a story about my youth in Memphis to like now, and basically what I would do with $1 million. Although back then, versus now, $1 million doesn't go as far as it used to, right? Gas is like what, $4 or something. But we can do a lot with a little. I've been able to create Quiz TV with very few resources, and it's proven that we don't. It'd be great to have tens of millions or billions. I think like Quibi raised close to $1 billion. It'd be great to have those types of resources, but for us, $1 million would go a long way, and I'm really excited about what we can do with it once we get that support. And I'm being optimistic about the raise. I'm really being optimistic about the community coming on board. We still have almost 2 months left, and I think a lot of people like, oh, there's plenty of time. So I'm pretty sure that things will probably really pick up in the last 30 days.
So Deshauna, tell everyone the platform that you're using and also how economical it is. I mean, you do not have to be rich to participate and to be a part of this.
Right. So the platform is called Republic. And so the website is, that's it, republic.com/QuillyTV. And so kweli.tv. Well, it's not.
Let me add that on there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's republic.com/QuillyTV. All one word. I get confused. I put dot whenever I'm thinking about the website, but for Republic, it's just Quilly TV. And so as low as $150, you can invest in the company. Republic is one of the many various equity crowdfunding campaigns that came about during the Obama administration. And so he created a way in which everyday people can become investors. As I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, traditionally when startup companies came about, there would be certain investors who could only invest. So you have to be accredited investor. So to be an accredited investor, you have to, I think, have $1 million in assets and have like $250K in the bank. It's something like that. A lot of people don't have that. And so because they felt that a lot of people, especially people of color, were not able to get in early on these opportunities for startup companies, they created ways to do that with the Jobs Act, and this equity crowdfunding campaigns kind of came about to allow anyone to invest in the company. And so Republic is just one of those. One thing I do like to mention too with this campaign, or at least with Republic, is that Republic acts as a traditional investor. And so like any traditional investor, you go through due diligence, they look at your books, they look at your financials. They want to make sure that everything I say about my company, the traction, the revenue, that I'm telling the truth. And typically when you say what you say and then they look at your books and it's true, you get a check. And so Republic does the same thing to give first-time investors peace of mind, knowing that this isn't like an Indiegogo campaign where anyone can sort of post it. Like anyone just can't post on Republic. Like you literally have to go through this whole process to prove that you are investable, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And so I want to say that to let people know that, we went through a whole lot of this long process for us to be on the platform. Only 2% of businesses actually make it on Republic, after due diligence. And so that goes to show you that, there is opportunity for us to return your investment if you do invest in the company. So I just always like to mention that as well.
And what's that minimum investment again?
It's $150. We can also do $50,000 too. If there's some ballers who are listening or watching.
Memphis has some money, people, so they want to come in with 100,000 or 150,000. Shoes on the balance. Hey,
that's right. Yes.
So, so just anybody who wants to participate. Now, one thing I definitely wanted to ask you, as far as your you're looking to use the funds for original programming. Are you going to be focusing that, like, as far as with the filmmakers who are already on your platform, as far as looking to people to create that original programming for you?
Initially, yeah. I mean, right now we're working with over 450 filmmakers, and we definitely want to reinvest back into them. There are a couple of shows that are on the platform already that we would like to pay it forward and allow them to create like new seasons for some of these shows. But then, eventually our goal is definitely to, reach outside of our community and also create original programming. But we're only raising $1 million, so right now we want to focus on kind of the content creators that we have within our system. But also too, we're always adding new creators all the time. Like we're going to be adding new content on Wednesday. And with that, there will be 10 new creators who are going to be added to that. So it'll be 460 new filmmakers. And so not to discourage anyone like, oh, I'm not a Quality TV creator, so I won't be able to participate. If you submit your content, you would actually be a part of the fold because we're always adding new content, hence adding new content creators on our platform.
Well, before we wrap, speaking about for those who are creatives, in addition to being able to be in the running for original programming support, can you speak to the breakdown of the generosity that you provide for independent filmmakers when they do partner with you?
Yeah, definitely. So 60, I like to make sure I say 60 because sometimes people say, I think I say six. So 60% of our revenue goes to our content creators. We pay them every single quarter. And we do heavy promotions as well on social media, in our e-newsletter, on our blogs, as well as our podcast. So we do everything we can to promote the content creator, and we give creators, 60% of the revenue. So we want to make sure we support them economically as well. It's really important to us that we do that.
Thank you, because that's very generous, because that's not the industry standard. So
it is not.
It is not.
And I always tell creators, like, they eat before I eat. When I first started the company, I wasn't paying myself. We weren't making all the money. Not that we're rolling the dough, but we're definitely making enough money to really, do more substantially for our content creators. And so there is no Quality TV without them, and so we want to make sure that we're always supporting them as much as possible.
Can I say or ask one more thing right quick, Angela? How important is it for you to connect with the Memphis film community at this time?
I think it's super important. I mean, being born and raised in Memphis, I'm happy what's happening in Atlanta, but I get a little jealous. I'm like, Memphis needs some of that too, right? And I think there's enough to go around, So I think that Memphis is there's a really great opportunity for Memphis to be another location that can really get some of those dollars. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. People went to Atlanta and kind of built on their own. And I think it's just important for us. We see the infrastructure that Atlanta's being able to build. I think that Memphis has more than enough talent to be able to do the same thing. So that's why I think it's really important to do it.
Thank you, Deshauna.
Absolutely. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you feel free to hang out for a few minutes, because I think you want to connect with Princeton James. He's one of those people. He's one of those people who's helping us move the needle forward as far as helping create that infrastructure that you speak of. So
yeah, definitely. I can stick on for a few minutes, but I have to go in a little bit.
All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Is your girlfriend over here? Yeah.
The system had one intention, to put us in prison. It's just that simple.
Whaley TV.
That's I love that commercial.
I know, I do too.
Honestly, we play it, Quayle.
We play it every month.
Every month. So
you're getting some free advertisement every month.
Hanging with us.
Hanging with us.
Well, first of all, I'm super excited about that. I got to get my 150 so I can be a owner. I'm gonna say I own Quayle TV. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm in. You better go on and get in before it's too late.
Oh yeah, let me hurry up. Let me put my tennis shoes on. Let me run up and catch up with you.
Right.
I love it.
Now we have one of our own coming to. I mean, he's been a supporter of OLM since the beginnings, definitely since I've taken over, and I just really appreciate him. Everything that he does for the Memphis film community, now the music community, and so I just want to welcome to the virtual stage Princeton James.
Where's the applause? Princeton.
Thanks, y'all. How you doing? How y'all doing?
I just want to dive straight in. I don't even want to say hi. I just want to know what you got going on and where are you?
I'm in Memphis. I'm here. Super excited. I guess we first of all, thank y'all for what y'all do. And thank y'all for allowing me to be here. I'm just grateful and feel super blessed to even share space with y'all. But productions, we're just trying to make it happen and build a diverse creative economy that we know Memphis deserves and to make sure
That's
we're
right.
not overlooked. And not just getting work here, but making sure people here are able to work. You know what I mean? And make a living because it's such a lucrative business. So we have a few things going on here and there, but yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Super excited.
Well, you
Okay.
need to break it down for us. So,
I'm
you
gonna
know,
Break it
say,
down.
come on, we
get
Break
gotta
it
come
down
up
down.
with
into
a
the
plan. Come on,
details.
we got a couple
Okay.
things,
Come
going
on,
on.
start.
Okay, first of
Okay.
all, let me help you out. Then let me help you out because I know you got
Yeah.
1,000 things. Number one, let's talk about why you established your production company and
Yes.
the cooler.
Okay, awesome. Well, I established my production company back in 2016. Christy was a big part of that. She was a mentor to me for my first script. It's on my wall up here, and it was called The Royal Family. So God gave me a vision of a stage play when I was working in Atlanta, and I knew I wanted to be an actor at the age of 8. But my teacher told me to be realistic, and I thought that was I couldn't do it because of where I was from, because I'm from Coldwater, Mississippi originally. So fast forward, I started acting at 25. When I moved to Atlanta, God gave me a vision of a stage play. I was like, God, nah, I ain't trying to manage that many people. Man, I went to church one Sunday. The preacher preached about operating in your gift. And he said, people will suffer if you don't operate in your gift. And I quit my job that Tuesday. And I moved back to Memphis. I did my first play, which was The Royal Family, which Christy was an instrumental part of. And I'm so grateful still for that.
You're welcome,
And
sweetie.
thank you. And after that, we went and we just hit the ground running, started to do dinner theaters, and we started to do camps because we wanted to make sure that we were paying whatever we learned forward. And after that, got into film work, started working behind the scenes on film, did a few projects here. Uncork was like a pivotal part. Shout out to Princess Penny and that entire team. That was actually my first time working behind the scenes on the project. I ended up auditioning while I was working behind the scenes and then got on the project. Super grateful for that. And then another project that really shifted my career was Bluff City Law.
Yeah.
I got a chance to work as Jimmy's personal assistant, and it was insane, incredible. And I'm super grateful to him and super grateful for that entire production. So now we have a murder mystery coming up tonight. I mean, not tonight. We have a murder mystery coming up April 9th. And it's going to be 3 shows. You can get tickets to that at soulfulmysteryexperience.com. And the cooler started because I would see so many it was not a diverse crew that we saw on set often. Y'all know that. And it was in Memphis and it wasn't as diverse as it can be because we're almost like a 70% black city, and it should be the set should at least reflect 50% at least. So after funny story when I thought I was gonna get fired from Bluff City Law is Jimmy, they were shooting the scene and this girl had one line and she was like, all right, Jake, see you later. And they was like, all right, cut. They was like, all right, y'all gotta get her back to the Peabody. She flies out in the morning, make sure she has everything she needs. And I was like, what? I go through the call sheet. I'm like, this was her only day. That was her only line. So I said, Jimmy, man, come on. So what can I do? Like, it's so many actors in Memphis that I think could have gotten it. I said, I don't want to take anything away from her or from, because whatever's for someone is for them. But we just got to create opportunities for them. And he was like, all right, go tell the EP. That's cool. So just easy, because, what I'm saying, it's Jimmy. So I was like, Jimmy, I don't want to get fired. He was like, you ain't going to get fired. You work for me. In so many words, he said, you work for me, man. You ain't going to get fired. So I went up and I asked the EP, I said, hey, it's some actors in Memphis that how can we make them more marketable for roles like this to even just be considered? They don't have to be given roles, just even to be considered to earn roles. And he was like, yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know y'all had actors here. So he said, okay, cool. I would love to see some of them. But he was just telling the truth.
Right.
So I said, hey, I'll set up something. When can I do it? He said, you can do it Saturday. We had to turn it around Saturday. Yeah. And that's when the first time. And then after that, they hired a casting director like here to do some roles that were like speaking roles, smaller speaking roles. And literally every episode after that, when we saw like a few cast members from Memphis and a few more cast members from Memphis and a few more and a few more. And that's when I learned whenever you take up space, don't take it up for yourself, but take it up for other people too.
As a
Absolutely.
matter of fact, you have used a
Yeah.
cooler to also get a pipeline to Atlanta. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Give us some
Yeah.
of the information on some of the
Yeah.
success
So
stories.
I feel as though one of the interesting pieces about Memphis is all we need is the resources and the training. The talent is so raw here. You know, if you can make it here, you know you can make it anywhere, and that's what singing to anything.
Yeah.
So I was just figuring like ways that we can use. I can use the resources that I may have known or had or experienced, and say, hey, do y'all mind coming and sharing this information with these individuals? And I thank God I was connected to some cool people. They was all like, yeah, we'll do it. Cool. We'll win. Let me know when. So Raven Drummond was one of them. She's Tyler Perry's what the casting director for a lot of projects that are produced at Tyler Perry Studios, along with other networks and everything. But so she came in September and we did a showcase. And also Jamal McNeil, who is Taraji P. Henson's acting coach, came in July. Incredible. Just like Raven, both of them smashed it. They killed it. And Mark Swinton, who was the vice president of Tyler Perry Studios, I actually acted in a play that he directed back in 2015. Wow. So I met him then when I lived in Atlanta. And then I just saw him at a festival like in 2020. And then I asked him last year in 2021. And I was shooting an email like, Mark, I know you're busy. Just could we hop on the call to talk about whatever, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, I would love to. And I think his thing was when we got off the phone, he was just like, you know, I guess so many people contacted me to ask me what I could do for them because I give jobs all the time, but you asked me what I could do for other people. And he was like, I just had to come and, you know, figure out what y'all had down here. And he saw that we had something special. And actually, it's a Memphis actor that got hired on a show out there that filmed the show and it aired and he gave so much feedback to so many other actors that presented for him. And he was just like, we just really got something special and we just really need to hone it. And if anything he could do to help, he agreed to try to help in any way. So I'm just grateful, man. And we all make a community. I'm just happy to be here and I'm happy to do any work I can.
Well, you know something, Angela, I know I'm kind of hogging the show. Before Deshauna, I think she's still in the green room. Can we kind of pop her in so maybe they can have a quick chit chat? Because, you know, to make this connection would be amazing. Deshauna, thank you for hanging out. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I just want to, you know, what do you think, Angela, as far as some of the things that you have going on and that they both have going on? What kind of collaboration do you see could happen?
So I know Princeton, he's really plugged into the Memphis film community, Memphis Black film community. And so we're definitely going to be leaning on him to really get the word out as far as what Kweli TV has to offer and also just encouraging those filmmakers to submit their films. Because I know many of them, and I've talked to several myself, because Kweli accepts short films, correct?
Right.
Documentaries, you know, live action,
Amazing.
reality TV, you know, all of those things. And we have filmmakers here that are creating all of that. And, you know, many of them, they create them, they send them out on the film festival circuit, and then that's it. You know, maybe they'll throw it up on YouTube, maybe they'll try to get it on Amazon or something, but they're not really generating any income from it. And so this is a real opportunity to get there, you know, get it placed somewhere where it can make some money. So that's one of the things that we're definitely committed to doing, you know, for Deshauna and Kweli TV, as well as for the film community, Black film community in particular, but really just any filmmaker who creates a film in which the lead is African-American or Black or African or whatever. That's correct, Deshauna?
Yeah, anyone is of African descent, they have to be a lead character.
In non-traditional roles, correct?
Well, it can be any type of role. It's just they just can't be like stereotypical roles, you know. Yeah. We just try to steer clear from stereotypes.
Excellent. So
that makes sense.
So Princeton, do you have any questions or anything that you can think of that you would want to ask Deshauna right quick?
Yes, but before I ask her a question, I just want to commend her for doing like so much dope work. Like for you to even think to create a platform like that, I just think is I just think one, it's a example of us taking somebody just very intelligent told me they're not gonna give you your reparations, you have to take them. So that's one, an example of taking your reparations. But two, it's just an example of just so much liberation as well in a digital space, just to be able to hold space for Black people to be able to show their work and showcase their work. And I was telling y'all earlier, like, we would love to like do anything we can to help, and especially like with the cooler of trying to get people into the industry and trying to get them their work showcased. If we could, we would love to do like a screening here, like, you know what I mean, just to get more people knowing about that. And the fact that you're from Memphis, that's crazy. That's amazing. Like, I mean, the support should definitely come from all over, but definitely be, you know, a home here for that. And we have a few summits and we have a monthly mixer coming up, but we would love to. And I'm so grateful because Angela and Krista, they do such a great job at like amplifying different people's work and things like that. But I know that we have a lot of opportunity to grow there, and I would love to do the same with your platform and with your network. I'm definitely going to download it today. When I found it on Instagram, I was already following it. So I know you out here doing some amazing work. So I would say that, one. And then two, like, what does a supportive film community look like to you from Memphis' standpoint? What can we do here to, you know, help you feel supported and lifted and whole?
I appreciate that. I always tell people, number one, spread the gospel about Quilly TV. I mean, that's like, that's like number one, just doing that, sharing what we're doing. And then, you know, we do have a submissions link on our website. And so just sharing that, letting people know that, you know, we are looking for content. We do want films that have been in the film festival. So we're looking, you know, long as it's been a festival, we'll take a look at it. But we definitely want to support, you know, filmmakers down in Memphis. And so just sharing that also would be really helpful. And also sharing our Republic campaign, you know, as we try to raise money. So those are the main things. As far as what you mentioned initially about like events, in 2019, we did have like a 6-city tour where we did like some film screenings of some of our films, a lot of our shorts. Of course, because of the pandemic, you know, we kind of, you know, stopped that. But we are considering doing it again this year with a sponsor. Still trying to debate, you know, as far as like, you know, health-wise, I want to make sure we're safe doing it. But I mean, that definitely could be an opportunity. We didn't go to Memphis last time. We were focusing on our top markets, and so we did go to like Atlanta, LA, New York, Chicago, DC, the Bay Area. So we went to like our top 6 markets, but I would say, you know, in our top 20 markets, I think Memphis might be in there. And so we definitely want to sort of expand a bit to look at other markets as well. So that could definitely be a possibility.
I remember that. So I was going to mention to see if you all were going to, you know, do that again. And we're going to work to get Memphis in that top 10.
Please. Yes. Whatever we can do, we will.
Yeah, and Princeton has a strong relationship with the Film Commission here, and there's some opportunities to, even if just bringing you down to better, you know, allow us to put you on the circuit in Memphis and walk you around town saying, Deshauna got this going on. So to put you in the room with some people, I think that can happen.
Yeah. So next month, Deshauna's going to be live with us inside of the Tour Club. So all of you all here in Memphis, be sure to make sure you're members of the Tour Club so you can get on that live stream, because we're going to be putting the link. So just as Princeton is on the screen here, we'd like for, you know, other filmmakers here who would like to get on the screen and just talk, you know, directly and, you know, just really see what we can do, you know, a planning session, you know, to see what we're going to do to try to uplift the film community here in Memphis. So that's the plan for April. As
a matter of fact, let's do this. I think hold on. If they need all the information, there
we go.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's going to be April 18th, 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, but this will be inside of the Tour Club. So we won't be broadcasting live. This is going to be just for the family. So make sure you're a part of the family by going to onlocationmemphis.org, hit our Tour Club, submit your request to join, because we definitely want you to be a part.
All right. Thank you, Deshauna. Thank you, Deshauna.
Thank you, Princeton. Are you going to hang out for us a little while, Princeton?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Deshauna. Have an amazing.
Have a good
one. See you later.
All right, take care.
Meet like-minded, extraordinary women. Expand your knowledge base and make the right connections.
What NAPFIN is doing and the work that they are creating and honoring women everywhere can't be matched by anything.
Celebrating 20 years of breakthrough networking. NAPFEM.
I think it is extraordinary, first and foremost, but it's absolutely necessary.
NAPFEM is the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment, with 20 networks located across the United States, Canada, and Africa.
It's a place for us to have a voice. It's a place for us to share our voices.
Join NAPFEM and do it today. It's easy.
One of the things that is blessing my life now, 16 years later, is that the genuine relationships that I built in 2002, now those sisters are executives. And it was a NAPFEM sister who hired me.
Join us online at www.napfem.org.
This has been an amazing show thus far. I
agree. Every show is amazing.
Every show is amazing.
But this one has a little specialness.
A little salt, a little sprinkle.
Wow. So we're about to get to that part of the show where we introduce the MMB track of the month. And so we're going to play a little bit of that track, introduce that producer, and then we're gonna, I'm gonna allow the filmmakers and the script writers to kind of listen to this music, and we talk about now how would you see this song being used in a film project? Okay, so our MMB publisher this month is Dwayne Wilson.
Sandra, your husband.
He has been with us really since the beginning, and he has several awesome tracks in the bank. He's a music producer. His name is Dwayne C. Wilson. He's a special individual that was born with a unique gift to create music. Musical magic is what he says. Born and raised right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And he has worked with some of the best in the industry, legendary Suave House Records. He was instrumental in making the music that has become classics in the foundation of Southern rap music. And so he's worked with 8 Ball and MJG, Crime Ball, South Circle, Kirk Whalum, Carl William Smith, Thomas Earl Jones III, George Jackson, and others. So he has the credentials, and he has done the work. And so we're going to listen to his track that's in the bank. It is called Mystery Man, and let's give it a listen.
I like how it starts off. Are you thinking web, TV, or film, Princeton?
I'm thinking, that's a good one.
Is it an interlude, background music, or?
I think it's like a time-lapse music. You know, when people go to work and I think it's a creative working on something, and you could tell like it's something that's a work in progress. That you know how people like fast forward the scene, or they do like a time lapse of it, or you catch them at the desk, or cleaning up, or going to hang up. I think it feels more like a time lapse situation
for a good montage.
Yeah, but definitely something that gives a feel of like being worked on, being developed, being not at the destination yet. I think it just gives me like a progressive feel of something that's moving forward. Yeah. That's what I see. And it's still mysterious. So Mystery Man is good. I think it still feels mysterious. Yeah.
What you think, Angela? Hey, everybody.
No, I was thinking the same thing. I also envision someone doing something, like if someone was if there was a heist, they're preparing to break in somewhere, or that sort of thing. It's definitely in the background, definitely with something happening. I didn't know the term progressive. Would you say progression?
Yeah.
Princeton, is that the term that you use?
Like something like progressive. That's
progressive.
Like progressive
I didn't know that term, but I can see that too. But I did envision, someone was doing something or preparing to do something, or that whole scene.
And Dwayne, he just said thank you.
You're welcome, Dwayne.
Welcome, Dwayne.
Wow. So of course you can find Dwayne Wilson on MemphisMusicBank.com. Scrolling across the bottom, Memphis Music Bank with a Q.com. Check out his plethora of music that he has on there. As of course, we are super excited for those who have been using the music. Shout out to Camille Fryer. She's actually used some of the music from the bank, and even the Memphis Music Commission has used music out of the bank, as well as others. So if you would like more information about utilizing the Memphis Music Bank, be sure to go to MemphisMusicBank with a Q.com. And if you are a composer, you definitely need to check it out. It's a very simple process of submitting music. And I tell you, people like Dwayne and others have amazing music in the bank. So Princeton.
Do you have any? Are y'all gonna play any more?
Oh well.
We can.
I just want to. Just so people can get like a few different options of things, because
who
I'm
else
a
do we
filmmaker.
have?
I'm always looking for stuff.
Okay, something's trending. Memphis is trending over there. Okay, what about Eli?
Okay, Eli Productions.
Okay.
So we can give you a little Eli.
I love this one.
I love this track. I love this track here.
The Lies You Tell. Okay, in 2020, right when the pandemic hit, Gatsby Randolph, who's originally from Memphis, had just done a film which has been nominated for an Oscar, and he was unable to do his in-theater presentations, exhibits, so he actually did a virtual with us, and we created some presentations, and we used this song because I totally loved that. We listened to the progression. And Eli, he's really good if you need things like for podcasts, and he leans in very cinematic, You hear that?
Yeah, it's like an emotional piece. This would definitely be
extremely.
Definitely emotional piece.
Yeah.
It also feels like someone, like if you play this on someone is lost. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't have to be like literally lost, but it can be like lost about what to do in the situation that they're in, or lost about how to progress forward, which way to turn, what decision to make. I think that it feels uneasy, unstable, that emotional.
I think he perfectly titled it "The Lies You Tell" because that speaks to the uncertainty. Like, I don't know what to do based on the circumstance and situation I find myself in with this person or event or situation. And of course, Princeton, I know that you've been doing quite a bit of music, and you're finding how important music is to the music. Can you talk about that experience? What you're finding as you begin to place music in your projects?
Yeah, it's just you just have. I think that it's such an art to it, and I do a lot of practicing on it now. Like I talk to some of my friends about, hey, I heard this Jacob Collier song, and it could fit over the sex scene of Love and Basketball. You know what I mean? I just like think through like how we can like intertwine scenes that may fit. But I think it just comes from your soul, and it comes from what feels right in that moment. And just like that's what I try to do. Like, and then just stick to what's best for that project and for that moment, not what's always best for like what type of music you listen to often. No. Because it's for the patrons, it's for the movie watchers. So just do something, and don't try to make it fit just because it's a friend's song, or like, you don't want to hurt people's feelings. Really, really stick to like, how does this music make this scene feel in this moment, and how will it be relayed, and most of all, how does it push the story forward? How does it push that story forward? It should always accent the story and complement the story, not take away from it, not be too distracting. So I love that process. I love it. Yeah.
As a filmmaker, are you finding, particularly in Memphis, that we are now beginning to kind of respect the music earlier in the process as opposed to an afterthought?
I think so. And I think more people are getting more interested in respecting the music that goes in film and television work. It used to be just like live or recording or selling. No, people are like literally like, I've had a few people come to me and say, I want to make music for films, or I want to learn how to do chords around a scene. And we just tried out. I believe in not only networking up and down, but networking across, like Issa Rae said. Like, go with some of your friends that's your MDs and ask them to create a track for one of your scenes and see how it works, So
absolutely. And we do, in the tour club, we do have a master class, a music scoring master class taught by Andy Hill. It's in there. It's 2 hours. He's also preparing about 4 more hours of training that's in there. So anybody who's a musician who wants to kind of hone their skills in that area, definitely consider joining our tour club so that you can access that training. And it's awesome training. Every person that has taken his class, and we actually did the class at Rhodes College in person, and when I did it in person, I didn't videotape it. I was like, I should videotape this. I wasn't really thinking, and so when we decided to do the tour club, I knew I wanted the tour club to have this master class, and so he actually did a virtual class for us in 2021. And he did it live, but we recorded it. And then, so now we have it up. But he's also working right now on two hours of practical and 2 hours of theory in the area of music scoring. And it was the first time I ever learned. And, he talks about the different chords, because different chords mean different emotions. And he speaks about them and when to use them and how to use them. He talked about, a lot of times you may not be able to use a whole orchestra, live orchestra, but their orchestra sounds, instrumental sounds that you can purchase digitally to get those sounds, and you just play those sounds on your computer or whatever you're using. So he, shares those tips and everything. But he always said, whenever you're listening for that cinematic sound, that's your strings. He said the strings is your cinematic sound. So whenever you hear those strings, you're gonna get that feel or whatever. So I learned a lot,
And just FYI, he is like one of the most esteemed composers in Hollywood. And he actually has been in Romania for the last 2 years.
He's been in Romania. He's over there scoring division at one of the universities over there working.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because there are many people, many B-list filmmakers. They go to those other countries to get their scoring done. And
that's incredible.
And I'm like, we could do that here. I mean, if we can build that system here, we could do it here. And these are award-winning, like your Moonlight. When I say B, it's not really B, but films that are on the level of your Moonlight,
which won an Oscar.
Exactly.
Doing that, they're
he's an Oscar-winning composer,
and he's
gosh.
And we have access to him. He's actually in the All Tour Club. So for musicians who are extremely interested, I mean, that's what the All Tour Club is about, is being able to network. Deshauna's in the All Tour Club. So we're literally connecting you with some of the top people that are in the industry who are joining this VIP club. And
Mhm.
Princeton's in the Auteur Club. So if you
Princeton's
want to
in the
do
Auteur
business,
Club.
if you want to do business with Princeton, you best to join.
Shoot
I'm
him a
excited.
message. Shoot him
Yeah.
a message if you don't already have his contact, but he's real free with his contact information.
Shoot. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we want people to go through the Auteur Club, so I recommend.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. So, so if you want more information about the Memphis Music Bank, take a listen to this or watch this. Music Bank.
Wow. We did good. We did good tonight.
Yeah. Another MMB Live is in the books.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, you know, the ice storm postponed February. House of Never. We're back in the saddle again. And Princeton and Deshauna, y'all have made this an amazing one. Thank you so very much.
Oh,
and of course, thank you. And anybody who's watching this, please be sure to share this with your circle. Of course, the replay is available.
Oh, and so we were talking about Deshauna being in the Tour Club next month, but this month we have a representative from filmhub.com. So that's a new film distribution platform. I don't know if Princeton is familiar with them or not.
I'm not. I'm excited to get familiar with them, though.
So we have a representative, Shelly, from filmhub.com. She's going to be in the Auteur Club March 21st, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. She's going to be discussing their distribution model and answering your questions. This was one of the distribution companies that our intern, Laquita, told us about. And she said, you know, many of the independent filmmakers are using them. Mm-hmm. They do direct to, I guess, streaming platforms all over the world. And they're supposed to be very, very good. And the splits from what I'm seeing are pretty good too. So
this is good to know.
Join us. Yeah. And we're going to be looking to add more too, more other distributors, different distribution platforms. We're trying to bring them in.
And to push this home, you cannot make a film just to say you're going to put it on YouTube. The whole purpose of investing that time and money is so that you can get it distributed to the world. Mm-hmm. And we are providing you with access to people who do it as a living. Film Hub actually sends it out to multiple platforms. Of course, Deshauna has her own platform that we have direct access to, but you may want to be somewhere else. You may have a film that doesn't fit her niche, but Film Hub provides distribution to all of these other platforms. So look up filmhub.com and know that on the 21st
of March, we will be in the Auteur Club, and you want to come in with your questions because she will be there specifically to answer your questions. So I think that's all.
Yeah. So if you're like, I need distribution, well, you better come to this one.
You better come on into this one.
I need distribution.
I'm coming.
Bring everybody you know, Princeton. Everybody you know. Y'all doing these films, you need distribution.
You need some distribution. Come to this one right here and learn it. So. All right, everyone. Well, I guess we will say good night. Thank you again, Princeton, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Anytime y'all call, y'all know I'm coming. Anytime y'all call me, I'm coming.
All right, and then we need to do lunch because we got some other things to talk about.
Next week, let's do it.
All right. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Hold back. Don't. Yeah, go ahead and it's a wrap, everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.